Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Tori. Today, I have a book haul. And I shouldn't have a book haul today because I shouldn't have bought so many books. But I did, so I figured I would share my book addiction with you all because then I can commiserate with others. I have several boxes here. I have several orders that have come in, and then I have a couple of stacks of books down here that I purchased either from secondhand shops online or from Goodwill when I went out on a Goodwill treasure hunt. So today I have some boxes that I need to unpack that have come in, some orders that have come in. I also have several stacks of books next to me that I got from Goodwill shopping trips and some secondhand shops online. So let's get into it because I have a lot of stuff to unpack here. The first thing that I'm going to unpack comes from Silverstone's Books, which is a indie bookshop, and I will link their website down below. Kevin is the owner and he's great. And he's been a huge supporter of a lot of indie authors, and so I wanted to order some books that he had on his website that I knew that I wanted and show an indie bookshop some love because they really do amazing things for the industry. So we have, first of all, we have some beautiful packaging that I want to share with you guys. We get a bookmark and card, and I can always use bookmarks. That's going straight up in my bookmark container. I'm gonna need a garbage bag. Look at that. I'm a sucker for lovely packaging, and there is nothing quite so lovely as books wrapped in craft paper. There's just something very homey about that, and I love it. So let's open the little one first. Okay, this one is, yes, my hard copy of Seasons of Albedo. This was one that I read in January this year, and I really wanted a hard copy of this book. This is a book that has really stayed with me after I read it. I definitely want to go back and read it again at some point soon, but this is a beautiful, let me make sure that you guys can see it. This is a beautiful cover. Look at that detailing in here. It's by Christopher Warman and Ilan March. I'm probably mispronouncing that and I sincerely apologize. I don't even remember what I bought. This is horrible. Yes. Northern Wrath by Tilda Cold Holt. This is a Norse-inspired fantasy. Does this qualify as chonk? I feel like if it was larger, it would definitely be in the chonk category, but we're like right on the border. But one thing I will say about this, that is a fabulously floppy paperback. I love it. Yeah, I don't really know what to expect, but I have chatted a little bit with the author on Twitter, and she seemed amazing. So I had kind of seen the books around and was really interested, curious to read it. So I'm very excited. So Kevin, thank you so much for these. I'm so excited to have these, and thank you for all of the wonderful support you provide for indie authors. All right. Let's see what else we got. This book is a review copy graciously sent to me by the author. This is The Awakening Fire by Cassidy Faline. This is a book that I had seen Andrew's Wizardly Reads mention on his channel, and it's not very long, but I have heard some really good things about it. I think Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative also really liked this book. She recommended it to Andrew. There's ancients that have been gone from the world for a long time, but there's still a lot of kind of repercussions from them that are still existing in the kingdoms, something along that lines. I'm here for it. I'm excited to read this. So Cassidy, thank you so much for this copy. Let's appreciate this cover. Let me see if I can get you guys a close-up to this. Absolutely beautiful cover and design. Really love it. I'm gonna save that box because you never know. What is this from? Second Sale. Okay. So this is a thrift shop on eBay that I buy from on occasion. Oh, I didn't know it was hardcover. I apparently didn't read the listing well enough. Okay. Going Postal by Terry Pratchett. This is another Terry Pratchett book that was recommended to me by Derry from Derry's Read It Before. And I have a Discworld video kind of in the hopper for the near future, and this is one of the books that I'm going to be reading for it. So keep an eye out for that. This is going along with Guards, and then I also have The Hogfather, I believe, coming. Yes. Oh no, I'm gonna need a scissors. This is not good. I need one of those. I need a sword. That's what I need. I need to jump on the let's open boxes with swords bandwagon. Actually, that's a bad idea. I should not do that. This is really ingenious packaging. Look at how perfectly those books fit in there. I'm incredibly impressed. This person literally took a box apart and put it back together. Color me impressed. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so I have recently been introduced to Pango books, which is basically Mercari, but for books. And there was somebody on there who was selling the trade paperback versions of a couple of the Malazan books for like $5. And they were books that I still needed to complete the set. So I bought them because I bought them. This is the one that's in the worst shape. And you know what? That's okay. I really appreciate it. In one of her last videos, Derry from Derry's read it before, mentioned that she really loves worn books, and I couldn't agree more. It does not scare me when a book is a little bit well loved, because that just means that it has a history and it was treasured, and I'm all for that. This, look how floppy that is. Oh my goodness sakes. Okay. I'm done. So I got Reaper's Gale. This one has seen some love, which makes me very happy. And I was just so excited to find the trade paperbacks. So I got that one. And I got Toll the Hounds, and this one is in very good condition. Again, man, these are delightful. Trade paperback version. And then the seller also had, if I can get it open, there we go, a trade paperback copy of Memories of Ice, which is also, I did not realize how chunky of a paperback this was. Holy buckets. But this is book 3 in the Malazan series, and this is also in really good condition, to be honest. So yeah, I was able to get all 3 of these bad boys for $15, which I consider to be a win. I'm happy with that. I think I'm only missing Dust of Dreams and The Bone Hunters. Those are the last 2 books for the series that I do not have. Anyways, super excited to get these, and man, that was a steal of a deal. Another book that I received recently was Season of Kings by A.J. Retger, who is an indie author, and this is a grimdark fantasy. I don't know that much about it, but I do remember reading the blurb and really loving it, and then AJ reached out to me and very graciously offered to send me a review copy. So I'm very excited about this. All I know is that it's grimdark, and we've got barbarian islanders and nobles who are undermining things. Somebody steals a throne from their older brother. I mean, I'm here for it. I have a moment of appreciation for this cover. He's holding what looks like a bloody crown. Very grimdark. Love it. So yeah, very excited to read this, and I love reading a few books that are a little bit shorter that I can put in between my other reads, and he very graciously gave me a signed copy. So AJ, thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to reading this. All right, moving on to the books that I purchased this month from secondhand shops on eBay, from Goodwill, and from a small indie bookshop that my husband and I recently discovered in a city next to us. I talked about these on my Patreon already. If you're not already a patron, feel free to check out my Patreon tiers down in the comments below. But the first book that I found was Noble House by James Clavell, and this is, I'm assuming, like an original version. Yeah, this was published in 1981, so this is an original copy. It's plastic wrapped. This was $1.99 at Goodwill, and I don't know at what point I will be continuing with the Asian saga, but I'm really excited to do so. The other books I got from Goodwill were In the Lake of the Woods by Tim O'Brien, who wrote The Things They Carried. Now, I've since learned that this is kind of a weird, dark book. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be up my alley yet. We'll find out. I'm going to try it. We'll see how it goes. I also found a beautiful, pristine condition copy of The Killer Angels by Michael Shara, which is one of my favorite historical fiction books of all time. It details some of the events during the Civil War, and it's just absolutely excellent. And I have the mass market paperbacks, but finding this pristine copy trade was pretty awesome, so I grabbed that. And my last find at Goodwill was a book called Women of the Silk by Gail Tsukiyama. And this book I know literally nothing about. Set in rural China in 1926, where a group of women forge a sisterhood amidst the reeling machines that reverberate and clamor in a vast silk factory from dawn until dusk. I'm very, very interested. It looks like it has to do with one of the first strikes that happened maybe through the silk factories, and it just looks like it's going to be a really good read. All right, and I realized that I filmed half this video without my ring light on. Sorry, guys. Moving on, I bought 2 books from my friend Evie over on the channel She Was Only Evie. I will link her down below as well. And she was getting rid of some books. She's unhauling some books, and I grabbed a couple of them from her that I have been kind of on my TBR. One of them is Sagas of the Icelanders, which basically is literally what it says. It's just a bunch of tales of people from Iceland, a lot of old Viking tales. It is chunky. It is a chunky book. So I'm kind of thinking when I do get to this, I'll just take it in chunks, because I learned with Shogun that that's a really great way to read a big book like this, is kind of separate it into sections and read it over a longer period of time. Yeah, and the other book that I got from her was The Tale of Genji by Murasaki Shikibu, and this is a Japanese classic that was written by a courtesan of the Japanese court, and she writes, I think the main character Genji is a prince from ancient Japan. So this is one of the classics that I had on my top 10 bucket list classics that I really want to get to. I did not know that it was this big. Next up, I went to a small indie bookshop in the town city, somewhat close to us, and found some gems. I found mass market paperbacks of Gaijin and King Rat, which are books 3 and 4 of the Asian saga after Shogun. And I still need to get Taipan. That is now the only one of the 5 that I do not have, so I'll be looking for a copy of that soonish. Another thing that I found there was the 10-foot square hut and Tales of the Heike. So this is kind of another Japanese classic, a bunch of different tales, stories contained in the same book from ancient Japan. And that just sounded like a fun time. I've been doing a lot of reading of this kind of stuff lately, and I grabbed it. I have a pile of books down here that I have purchased from second sale on eBay. There's a couple of different thrift shops on eBay that I typically buy from, and they're hit or miss, but usually I don't really have that much of an issue with books like not knowing completely what they look like, and a lot of these places do have return options, so it's fine. But I ended up picking up Dark Tower Book 1. I don't know what possessed me to do this. I do know it's my friend Ash, who I blame wholeheartedly for this choice. I've never read a Stephen King book in my life, and that's because the kind of suspense, thriller, horror that he's known for is just not stuff that I typically like to read. But she sold me on this because she said that there is a young protagonist in this story, or a young character, main character in this story, who is really, really well written. What can I say? My friends know how to sell me on a book. So I did buy the first one to try it. It's not that long, so I figured it's gonna be fine. The last stack that I got from second sale, the first one is The Martian by Andy Weir. I have been committing to some sci fantasy more this year because I do want to give it more of a chance. I really love Red Rising, as everyone knows. And so I wanted to delve a little bit into the sci fantasy realm, science fiction when it's light. I'm not really drawn towards hard science fiction. That's not something that I really like, and don't anticipate that changing at any point, but I do really want to delve into a little bit more of the science fiction genre. Next up, I'm very excited about this read. I watched this TV show a long time ago, and it just, I don't know why I touched my nose. Chef's Kiss. And that is Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. I know a lot of people around BookTube have been rereading this lately or reading it for the first time, and hearing them all talk about it just brought back how much I enjoyed and loved the TV show. I mean, it's Tommy Lee Jones and Robert Duvall. You know what? I'm in the mood for a really, really good Western, and seeing everybody talking about this book just gave me so much book jealousy. So now I have my own copy of it, and I'm very excited. And it is really pretty. It's got these little like foil stars in the cover. It's very nice. And I think it's a good size too, because it is a bit of a chonker, but this is trade paperback size, so it should be fairly easy to read. Next up, and this is a book that I have owned before, and I unhauled it because I wasn't sure if and when I was ever going to get to it. And then my friend Theo over at Rekindled Reader, he picked, I did the 12 books recommended by 12 friends for this year, and Theo was one of the people that I asked to recommend me a book, and he recommended A Man Called Uwe by Frederick Bachman. This is a book I've heard so much about. I know there's a movie based on it that came out recently with Tom Hanks. I'm actually really excited to read this. I think it's going to be a step away from what I normally read, and it's going to push me outside my comfort zone a little bit. I anticipate thoroughly enjoying this book. Next up, I bought Soldier Boy by Kelly Hutton. This book is about a young boy who is, I think, taken. Yes, he is taken by an extreme group to fight in a civil war at a very tender age. And this is one that I've had floating around my TBR for quite a long time, and I saw that Second Sale had it, and I was buying other books anyway, and so I decided to grab my copy of it. Next up, I have Lord of the Flies by William Golding. This is a book that I've never read, and it's another classic that I've been wanting to get to, largely because I'm really curious to kind of see another book that takes similar plot elements to Hunger Games when it comes to a group of young characters who are put in a survival situation where they are kind of pitted against each other. And that is something that I've been kind of curious to look around and see what other books employ that trope. And Lord of the Flies is obviously one that came up. So I will be hopefully reading that this year as well and checking that off of my classics bucket list. I finally caved, y'all. Bernard Cornwell, The Winter King. This is from his, what is the name of the trilogy, you guys? You're gonna have to tell me down in the comments, and I know all of you will do that because everyone loves this book. I don't remember. It's a story of Arthur. It's a historical fiction, and everyone on BookTube is completely in love with the series. I am kind of just over Arthurian legends right now in my life, but I am willing to check this out because I have not stopped hearing about this trilogy for months while I've been on BookTube. Everyone absolutely loves it that has read it. All right, I'm here. We're gonna try it. So I bought the first book. Again, this is a really great floppy paperback. I'm a little disappointed that it was not the newer cover. That's okay, we'll deal with it. The last book on this book haul was one that I purchased. This was the first one in this pile from the thrift store on eBay, and that was Time of Swords by Matthew Harvey. When I interviewed Matthew, which I will put up in the cards somewhere, I had a great chat with him, and I had read his standalone novel, Wolf of Wessex, which I really enjoyed, and he sold me A Time of Swords as basically kind of a motley crew headed up by a monk who becomes a warrior. He's a warrior monk, and that sold me on this story immediately. I think there are 2 or 3 books in this series already, so I'm excited to read something else from Matthew Harvey's work and thoroughly anticipating enjoying it. So that is the last one on my list. That's everything, guys, and I still have a book outlet box and a couple of other things coming. That being said, I'm going to try really hard to be on a book buying ban for a little bit here because I can't keep up. Like, there's too many books that I want to read, that I want to get to, that I'm very excited about. And BookTube is not helping. You guys need to stop. Stop recommending books. I want you to just turn off your BookTube channels and leave me alone. I'm kidding. Don't do that. I love you all. I'm really hoping to have some time this summer to blitz through my TBR and really get some of these books off my TBR. So anyways, I hope that you guys are having a fabulous week. I hope you are reading 5-star reads, and I will see you in the next video. I'm mad at it now. Ugh. Oh my goodness. I am absolute garbage at opening things, you guys. Like, I should have brought myself a scissors, so I didn't need to do that. That was dumb. I should have done that.